What's up, guys? It's your boy Jamaica here, coming at you with another deck tech. This is my Simic Ascendancy deck. I don't know why I'm actually playing this, but it turned out to be like a funny idea of like trying to win with like really weird cards, and I also randomly love the card Bioshift for no reason whatsoever. Maybe I like the picture, maybe I just like the fact that it's so completely terrible that I just tried to make a deck, and then Simic Ascendancy came up, and then all of a sudden I have a list, and I think it's not bad. It's not terrible. It's not the worst, but let's have a little fun and try to win with counters or just do that. So the whole deck is basically based around Simic Ascendancy. I initially only had 3 in the deck, and then I realized, wait, this is always good because it always gives you like an alternate way to win. Because it's actually the plan B. The plan A is just like killing your opponent really quickly with counters, but this is actually like the plan B, and it's not a really bad plan B because it like kills your other creatures and things like that. So let's just talk a bit. Lands, 24 lands, Lumbering Falls, Temple of Mystery. I actually really like the Scry lands. I really always want to play with Scry lands, especially when they're all tapped duels. They might as well be Scry lands anyway. But Lumbering Falls actually never activated this card yet, but I assume it's fine. I guess. Like, you can, like, bio-shift counters onto the Lumbering Falls. So having a gigantic Hexproof Idiot could be good in the super late game. Simic Ascendancy is a 2-drop, obviously. It's blue-green. And when you have 20 more counters on it, you win the game. And how do you get counters? Is by creatures getting counters on them. So the whole deck is basically based around creatures that get counters put on them from one way or another. And they're actually really good ones, too. So the way I kind of like envision this deck is like you want to play the Ascendancy and then play some random 3-drop here. Fertilid is used to be actually Rampant Growth because this deck is a little mana intensive, and you kind of want to get to like 5 to 6 lands. So, but then I realized this is a card, Fertilid. So basically targets a player and basically Rampant Growths them, which is really interesting. And it's not like a bad late game card because at worst it's like a Grizzly Bear that puts counters on the Ascendancy if you're trying to go that route. So it's not bad. Fam Nantuko, pretty strong guy actually. Another just like 2/2 for 3, but it has trample. It can put counters on itself, so on its own it can trigger the Ascendancy. Spike Feeder I've actually been the most impressed with. Also just a 2/2 for 3, but puts 2 counters. And just gaining life is really good, so you can just make with Bioshift and stuff like that. When you have the bigger creatures, you can just make like gigantic life swings if you really needed to in the end. Then also, when you play 3s, you want to play good 4, so increasing savagery. It's kind of a pet card of mine. I just really like this card in general, but it puts 5 counters on a creature, so that's already like 7 if you're going this like 2, 3, 4 route. So it's like 7 counters on the Ascendancy already. It's just really good, especially with all the other cards here that like kind of like have that like +1 counters matter sort of theme. Tether's Gambit's just pretty awesome. Proliferating and drawing 2 cards is pretty good on a divination of sorts. If you have a Ascendancy and a creature out, the Ascendancy will actually get 2 counters because you're putting a counter on that with a Proliferate and the Ascendancy itself. Contagion class, good with like removal spell. Blue and green don't have like the greatest removal spell, so actually having something that is a removal spell plus the late game part proliferating is really strong. So I really like Contagion class in this list. These are kind of like the bigger token makers. Serskillion, also another sort of removal spell. Can end the game late with a bio shift. You have like big idiots, so you just kind of shift over the tokens there. Endless One. That's how the deck actually started. I actually like Endless One a lot. The deck actually started with Endless Ones and Shifting Walls, which is basically like an Endless One that can't attack. But Shifting Wall is actually terrible. Endless One is always good on most sides of the curve. Usually you play this on 3 or 4, but it's just really good at any point in the game. It's like a big token sink. It's a big mana sink, so you get a lot of counters on it, so you can kind of shift those over to other creatures with the bio shift, things like that. Scoot Bomb has been okay. It's kind of makes its own counters on its own after you hit 5 lands, so that's why it's only have 3 in the deck because it's not really like a good 1-drop. Although I have played on turn 1 pretty often, there's not really a lot of early plays in this deck, so that's pretty neat. Bio shift. I've talked about endlessly, but the deck is actually based around bio shift, not so much like Simic Ascendancy. I only have 3 in the deck, which is probably a mistake. But it's kind of a dead card when you don't have a creature when you're just trying to top deck. So, but Bioshift is kind of the way games end in a sense, where you can like instant speed, like move tokens, move counters onto another creature, and then get more counters up from the Ascendancy here. So Bioshift is kind of a way to end the game. Also, if you're in combat, you're attacking with a bunch of people with counters. The one that gets unblocked you could shift all the counters onto the creature, the unblocked creature. Or you don't have to worry about blocking because you can play Herald Secret Streams that says creatures control with +1/+1 counters can't be blocked. So that's kind of like the overrun effect of the deck. It's not a bad card, but I think it's fine enough for this deck. And then Galloping Lizarog is kind of a really weird meme card. When it enters battlefield, you remove any number of counters, +1/+1 counters on creatures, and you put twice that many on Galloping Lizarog. There's a really fun trick you can do with Bioshift, where you put the effect on the stack, and you Bioshift, like, maybe you have like NS1 for 5, so you put all the tokens on the Galloping Lizarog. That would trigger the Ascendancy if it had it. And then the Lizarog trigger resolves, and you take all the counters off the Lizarog and put it back on the Lizarog, and you get 10 more. So that's like a really just insane way of just winning with Ascendancy out of nowhere. So there's only one in the deck. I actually don't think the card is actually good at all. But it's because it depends on a lot of other people. But it's a good way to like win with Ascendancy. If you can get there, pretty much. Sideboard's kind of just like a hodgepodge of cards. Negate, Summer Dismissal, kind of like my blue counter spells of choice. Rivers are being up liked a lot. I'm actually playing 2 now because I think midrange is back on the rise. That's really good because those midrange decks are playing like 4 and 5 drops and just kind of like developing their board, things like that. Fog, I don't think this deck's actually good against creatures or just like aggro deck, so you kind of want a Fog. It's actually a fun way to take a control route in this deck post sideboard with like Fogs and Simic Ascendancies and Spike Beaters, where you're just trying to like gain a bunch of life and just kind of like outlast and try to Simic Ascendancy out of the game in a sense. So the plan B becomes a plan A at that point. Natural Ice is just a straight enchant. The extra Spike Feeder for aggro matchups, also another contained class for just a little bit more removal. I'm actually playing in a league today, so we're going to get 5 rounds of this great deck. I have small hopes for this, but it was a lot of fun to build, so I kind of want to play it. So let's just see what happens. And how many counters can I get on this Ascendancy? We'll see. Alright, got a match with the A-Devil Simic deck. This is fine. Turn 2 Simic. We'll just show them what's up. We need an untapped land, though. It'd be really nice. I get this Fertilid going, because it's a Scoot Mob action here. Hazardbad Druid. Allies, maybe? Druid's actually really strong in some sort of like ally build. Let's get a lot of things. Wow, play a second land. Okay, interesting. Keep. Show them what's up. Boom. Doing it. I can play double Scoop on next turn if I don't draw an untapped land. Then the Fertilid. Hopefully, the thing is about the Fertilid is that I kind of want to play the Fertilid into like a bunch of Scoot Mobs, so I really want an untapped land here. So I get this Simic Ascendancy going. Right. Aforementioned. I don't think they have a third. Okay, they do have a third. So maybe some multicolor ally action on my other side. That's unfortunate. Let's just play a bunch of Scoop Mobs. Because the problem is that, like, with the Fertilid, if I play it next turn, I won't be able to use the Ramping Growth like ability. Zata. Oh, I've seen it. Oh, I'm about to get comboed here, I think. Oh no. Alright. So I think what's gonna happen is that they have a bunch of like those like cards from like Shadowmoor or Morning Tide or whatever that like untap creatures and draw cards, so they can keep untapping targeting Zata with those, which targets all your other allies. Zata being an ally will help the Hazardbad Druid here. So yeah, there's a refocus, okay. Gonna have 6 through this. So single target spells are like kind of the key for the Zata deck. What the end game is, I'm not really sure, but we'll figure it out when we get there. Maybe like a storm card. I should start eating while I do this. I have my lunch right here. A pad thai. It's a little spicy, but that's how I like it. A little bit. I think they're done. Oh, I took a bite. Okay, I got one bite in. Okay. With 2 turns, these scoop mobs will start going, and this will actually grow the Ascendancy quite quickly. I have double bio shift, so if I don't die at some point, I could probably win this game in like 3 turns. But as long as I don't die, but he's got like 6 mana here. F6 again. Try to get another bite. The problem is he just drawing. I was drawing like 4 cards now. The Zata copies. I think there's one, the Cerulean Wisp, that gives people haste, so the mana dorks aren't like completely out of whack here. Really do know where the end game is though, so that's why we're gonna F6 and while I eat and figure this out. There's a storm. The storm counter. It must be like oh, not really. Crimson Wisp is the one that gives haste. Cerulean Wisp untaps the creatures. I mean the Green Wisp does pump them. So I mean there's that. Just making a large army right here is pretty decent. Also they have 15 cards in their hand. Pretty decent. What if they just fizzled here? I don't think they. I'm gonna. I think they're gonna fizzle. Um, I have drawn their deck at this point. A lot of mana dorks too. Yeah, if they fizzle here, I'd be very surprised because I think they're just drawing their deck at this point. I'm looking at like brain freeze and like if they brain freeze me, I'm just gonna try to auto concede. I should just concede right now, but I've seen people draw their decks and not win. Weirdly enough. I'm trying to think of like a sideboard option here. I don't think I have many sideboard options. Deck's like not like super fast, and I don't have like removal for like a 3/3 off the bat. They have 8 cards left in their deck. They could deck themselves. They're just not careful. They can play one more like card drawing spell, and then they have their entire deck in their hands. Which at that point in Magic, if you have your entire deck in your hands, you should probably win the game. I remember it was like Innistrad Standard or something. I was playing like a blue red white dice deck. It was a reverse round. It was a mirror match, and at the time the mirror tech was Jace Memory Adept. And if you don't remember Jace Memory Adept, the ultimate quote unquote was to make a target player draw 20 cards. So I was in game three of this match, and my opponent was about to my opponent counted my deck because like we were in turns and we were like the last match in this tournament, and I had exactly 20 cards. So he untapped. He had his J set ultimate. And he was like, "You draw 20," and I'm like, "Okay." My opponent was at 12, and I had the deck had a bunch of like instant speed burn spells, so I think I like untapped and I Boros Charmed him. And during my upkeep, I got to untap all my lands. I had about like 10 lands to play. I Boros Charmed him again. I played a Sandcaster Mage and I Boros Charmed him again, and they died. I don't know. I don't understand why that happened, but he let me just draw my deck, and I'm like, oh, okay, sick. I guess I'll just win here. Speaking of winning, I think my opponent's about to deck themselves. This is bad. Okay, this is bad. Speaking of, this is not going to go well for my opponent. They're going to try to draw a card off their deck, and they're going to lose. Alright. Do it. The pause. All three X-Backs were on the bottom, 4 cards on my way to send them. Well, yeah. So their way of winning is attacking. We've learned a valuable lesson here. It's not a storm card. Even though the storm count did come up here. So I think the answer is fog. Bunch of fogs. I'm gonna bring in the extra clasp for the just the mana dorks here. I like feeder too. I don't think I have time for the Lizrog. I don't think they're blocking much anyway. Cut like a game. No. In these situations, it's always like shave cards, like Endless One. I don't know if those are like fine at like any point in the game, but they're just like not good enough sometimes. Got like 2 Endless One. They're still gonna kind of like I can end the game when I need. Okay. This is interesting. I could have brought in some Summoner's Missiles too. I don't think I'll have the time to do that, to be honest. I can't really. Oh, it kind of counters a Zata, which is like I think the point of their deck for sure. This is an awkward hand. I'll keep it. This is kind of awkward. I had the Temple to start, so that's why I'm keeping it. Turtle is nice. On top. I need some on top lands. The Scoot Mom Fertilid combo here. Bioshift. Utopia Tree actually does a good job countering or blocking these early Scoot Mobs. Alright, all the dudes. All the mana dorks. Alright. A little too many lands now. Little too many lands. I could go turn 4 Savagery on something and just start attacking. Actually, I probably will do that. Their blocking scheme doesn't seem very great. It looks like the Zata has come to play, yeah. If they have any sort of untap thing, this is going to be pretty big. That is such a big deal for this deck. I'd be surprised if they didn't have an untap spell here. Okay, they're just gonna draw 4 cards. So I could just like crunch in with the savagery in big chunks. I'm gonna put on the ooh, that's pretty good. I'll like really like mess up the mana here. For the I can kill the druid, takes him off of at least 1 mana. I can also put on the I can also put it on the Zata, but that's a kind of late game thing. Also, I should have played an untapped land, so I could have Rampant Growth. That's my bad. Then I could have gotten the Scoop Mob going. So, that's my bad. And I, like, aimlessly didn't think about that. So this is what they want. They got a Zada in play. Looks like they're, like, missing... Oh. Well, I don't know. I don't know anything, actually. I do know that I think the Druid really helped out. And a lot of creatures. The problem with, like, me and the matchup here is that, like, they're all, like, 1-2s and 0-2s, so, like, the TH class is, like, fine. But not really that good. I think, like, should be focusing on killing the Zada. Maybe just try to, like, board into, like, this control route. Maybe that's the way I should be doing this, right? There's an Expedite. Isn't really that threatening right now. I mean, they draw 5 cards, pretty good. I think they're only, like, they have a what is it, Refocus and Cerulean Wisps, I guess. Was it really a Wisp that really untap things? Well, I mean, I could be dead-ish. You need a lot more pump, though. Or they don't have something just like Brute Force or some sort of, like, trample spell. I think just thinking of me on tapping out all the time. I hope I die here so I don't show them Fog. If I draw a Fog and I don't know. They will never suspect Fog game 3 if I die here. They have a Druid here, so that's kind of, like, annoying. Yeah, basically this looks like Summoning is supposed to be really good, but I have to play, like, a lot different game plan here. It'll be definitely the control route that I could probably morph my deck into. Or attempt to morph my deck into. Also, like game 1, if we get Brain Frozen here, I'm just, like, conceding on the spot. I feel like they're gonna deck themselves again. This isn't enough damage unless they, like I said, they do, like, a Brute Force or something. Some sort of, like, pump spell. I've actually done nothing this game. That's the sad part. I've actually haven't done a single thing. Maybe it's calls for the deck inconsistencies here, or my opponent's deck inconsistencies. Or just, like, a deck building error. I mean, they've literally drawn their deck twice. This is turn 5, and they've drawn 40 cards, it seems like. Like, I should, like, be dead. Just like game one, it should have been dead somehow, but I don't know. Alright, so that's 6 more cards in their hand. Still way away from lethal, by the way. Unless they have a brain freeze here. They have to have a storm card. Like, okay, Haze of Rage. Okay, there it is. There it is. So fog is really good here. If I had a fog, I would just fog immediately. Okay. If that's the plan, that's very easy to stop. Okay, let's morph my deck a little bit. I feel like Gambit. I don't like untapping as much. This one. I still like Class, but not as much. Take the feeder plan off. Mop's a bit slow. I'll just cut that. And Skilly seems to. So Skilly's actually really slow. Maybe it's just like threes. Just in case I need to go the Ascendancy plan. I don't like Negate a lot. Negate on the Zad is very great. Excuse me. I do need to kill that guy on the spot. I don't know. Just because it's really the only way I can do it. I think I just need to draw a fog and win. There's a fog, but it's only one land, so I'm gonna mulligan this. Oh, not like this. Not like this. Okay, I'm keeping this. Top. I have a waste of a temple here. I already know I want to keep that on top. It's like a waste of a temple. Days of Rage, okay. We know the game plan. We actually have cards to counter this game plan. Excuse me. No attacks, I love it. Ooh, there's a fog. Top. I wonder why they didn't even attack. You might as well just attack there. Just reading to see if it counts other creatures. Doesn't obviously. That would make no sense if it did. Actually surprised they didn't get Brain Frozen there. Maybe it's like in the sideboard. These guys too, but I don't think the deck's that mana intensive. What's the no attacks? I'm really happy about the no attacks. I hate like using like mana like that. I have to like tap. A lot of cards that just don't do anything right now. That's kind of the deck sometimes. I just like don't do a thing. I might play a Zada here, or just look for a Zada. right? I keep wow. Luckily I have this fog in my hand. Do you think would have started attacking me with the Dryad? I would have been like at a lower life total. I think when he plays like kind of like combo S decks, you need like to understand that you need alternate ways to win. Or just like you need to get your edges where you can. You need to like take your like little advantages when you can. I literally don't have any card. I have done nothing, so just acting me up like for 2 would have been like decent. You have to store off as hard here. I have nothing though. See, they should be attacking. I should be at like 10 or something. Here's a Fertilid. Be pulling lands on my deck in a second. They should definitely be attacking. I mean, I don't know what they're waiting for. Now they can't attack because I have a creature and they can't risk their Zata. Maybe they're going for like the maximum amount of like creatures. You have to have at least one like wisps or something. Your deck has like 16 of them. Yeah, this comes with Cerulean Wisp. The fact I'm not F6 now means that like I have a response, so that should say something to my opponent. Like the jig is up here. Something is amiss. They have to like okay all of this, okay? We also have 6 minutes. This combo seems to take forever. If they had a negate, I would just straight die. Like I would lose to this negate. All I have is 2 bioships in an island and the fog. I like doing this here, especially if they have like another haze. Oh, he casts it with buyback. Okay. So he has it again, and yeah, it's in there. Okay. See if everyone's attacking here. Except this guy. Okay. Fog. I like that they bought it back, so now they can try to do it again. So I didn't know that Hazer Rage had buyback. Self. Trying to find another fog here. I mean, this is really good if I had if I had a Triskelion right here, I could have just killed the Zata, but I drew a forest, so not looking too good here. I like how my opponent has actually learned how to play more conservative. They just went for like the easy kill here. But now they gotta build up the resources again. But that shouldn't be too hard this turn. The other thing about this is that you could just like, well, no, the copies don't really count, but you could definitely just like split up like a bunch of turns here where you just attack like once or twice. Making all red mana, obviously, so they can just kind of like buy back the Haze of Rage a bunch of times. That's another thing you could do. It's just like add one on top effect and then just like buy this back a couple times. It's cost 4. So you can kind of just play this like kind of cheeky game. I'm at 16, so yeah, there's a Storm 3. They can even do it one more time. They have enough mana to do it again. Well, it was a great matchup for me, but at the same time, my deck didn't do anything for 3 games, so I don't know. I didn't. I just drew very badly. I'm gonna chalk that to me drawing very badly. But I don't think it's a great matchup anyway.